Thanks for joining into the SEN show on the SCHMOEDOWN Entertainment Network, produced in partnership with Skybound Entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Where did this thing go? Like, he knows that
He left
so he just doesn't even. And he's drawing a version of himself.
Hold on, I'll turn off the background.
Good morning, welcome back to SEN Live, where we're watching Winston Pictionary still. I don't think you got the memo that's not the show today, but Winston, your office is sick. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
What's happening? What are you?
So unfortunately, I have a Batman chair. I have now, you know how the line goes, you either die the hero or live yourself long enough to become the villain? He is now the villain. The villain.
Wow.
The fucking villain. That's what this is. I am ashamed. We're going to cover you up just right there, sir.
Let me be honest with you guys. I have never been as surprised and happy as the fact that 2 days in a row, I'm going to spend over an hour of my life talking about going down on women and its importance. I didn't know that I was going to be given this opportunity, and especially to an audience that's predominantly men. I am so excited to explain how heroes truly do go down in the deep. And welcome back to SEN Live, because there's a lot of villains in this building, apparently. Brett, you've managed to keep a wife for all these years. I'm sure. God helps.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, everybody was laughing. What was your question?
It was just hello.
Hello. Yes, I have managed, and I am a hero because of it.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking what a hero you were.
I thought he was going to say.
And I expect no reciprocity.
That's important.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you like to give, you don't need to. It's not like, well, no, it's your turn. No, whatever goes down. Yeah.
Whatever could we be talking about this morning? Hi, Steph Sabraw, who I texted this about completely randomly yesterday. How you doing?
The way that you're leading this fight and spent an actual hour discussing this is so important in moving us forward as a society and as a people, because only assholes don't go down on women if women are your thing.
And you're physically capable, which is a caveat that I've started putting in, although there's a lot of things you can hang from the ceiling to make different things work. Just ask the experts. I'm not one of them. Winston, same thing as to Brett. You've kept a girlfriend for a very long time. I have a feeling that villain chair suits you well. Welcome to the show.
The villain chair does not suit me well, because if he, look, I'm not DJ Khaled. I'm out here. Look, I like to pretend that my ass is less Batman now and more Tony Stark. Tony Stark doesn't become a billionaire, philanthropist, playboy, and keep Pepper Potts happy if he ain't out here doing the real superhero work. All right,
Period.
All I wanted, like with every fiber of my being yesterday, was for Marvel to tweet out, "Our heroes do." Like, why?
Yes.
Who was running their social account that did not take this? I mean, if we're gonna have a DC Marvel rivalry for the rest of our lives, then Marvel, you have to be on your shit. I need you to post graphics. I need you to talk about your heroes. Like, come on.
I need every hero to come out. Like, all of them to tweet, "I go down on women." Captain America goes down. Iron Man goes down. The whole smash goes down.
Winston, what?
I fucked up because I had crafted a brilliant tweet that I never hit send on, and now the moment is dead. All right, I'll just send it. And you guys
can I? One day, I'm gonna have you guys go through my draft tweets and see how many brilliant things I never said.
Same.
They're
Roxy.
Wild. Mm-hmm.
I've been told I need to release the Brett cut, and I just realized I was like, I'm going to do this, and I opened my phone and there was one saved draft. Apparently, they're device specific, So when I switched my phone, I lost years of
that sucks. What are you gonna do?
Do you still have the phone?
I don't know where. I think it was one of these ones that I kept putting tape on it over and over because it had a cracked screen, and I had to wait until I was due for an upgrade because I'm cheap as fuck. So yeah, I kept retaping up a phone so I wouldn't cut myself on the really shattered glass on it. And I could barely read the words on it, but I'm that cheap.
Honestly, women don't care about that. They care about your tongue. This we learned. But Alex,
Winston, great tweet.
Alex, now that I've tortured everybody else who
Tongue Punch Fartbox donated $20.
Well,
fartboxes aren't the only thing I tongue punch, so in the words of Tony Montana, make way for the bad guy.
Hey.
Totally. I feel that hardcore. Alex, I don't think anything in the planet would make you more uncomfortable than me asking you about your sexual escapades on this show. So, instead, I'll just say, I like your shirt, Alex, and welcome.
Thanks. You can call me a villain. You can call me a really good cough syrup because I go down real easy.
There.
Ooh! Yo! Wait a fucking minute. God damn.
Winston.
Alex is a fucking...
What? Follow
He's going down!
He's just a fucking beast. Alex Marzoña is who I aspire to be. That was brilliant. Like, bitch, why are you not a famous musician that doesn't talk to us anymore? What the fuck?
Alex, are you quoting somebody else or did you make that up?
I think I made that up. I hope I didn't see that anywhere, but going down easy like cough syrup.
Welcome to old age, Alex. I think I made that up. It's my daily life.
We just don't know. I guess we'll give you credit for it until somebody else comes and says that they're the one who did it. So that. Oh, wow. The chat's really doing good things for us right now. Thank you guys for joining us. Spider-Man eats ass upside down. Thank you, Prince. That wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Just excited. I'm excited for all the visuals. Yeah. The visuals of today's show are just, I'm really into them. All right. A couple different things for today. Number one, we are going to be playing a game very similar to a game we've played before on this show, mostly to win back the heart of Winston. True story. Winston and I have not been the same since Arbitrary Alien. It has been a journey for us. An Arbitrary Alien legitimately put a hill in our relationship. So today we have to earn back the trust of not just Winston, but his mom as well. And we are going to be playing, because we are going to be talking about ghosts and whatnot today, we're going to be playing Subjective Supernatural. I'm a big fan of the alliteration. It's legit the same thing as Arbitrary Alien, but with ghosts. And so Subjective Supernatural is where it's at. I'm going to be asking you guys questions. These questions have no answers. You guys are going to come up with the answers, and I'm going to give you points based on the answers that you come up with. What I am going to do is do a better job of keeping score this time. I swear. And I swear. Yeah.
I feel like you said Arbitrary Alien, so the score reflected that. The fact that Winston heard you say, like, oh, our relationship was kind of demoed, and he was like, yeah, like, it's really concerning.
Yeah, there's been some things, but also in all fairness, this morning, wait, Steph, your internet keeps going in and out, and so I keep seeing you in different spots, and it's kind of unbelievable.
Not again.
I love you regardless, so I'm just gonna know that you were laughing at the right moments. I have such a story for you guys before I finish this game. Oh, it's so good.
Hey, real quick, Steph, go back. I made a whole thread out of it with the Avengers. I think you'll love it. I think you will love.
Oh my god!
I made a whole Avengers eating vagina thread. It's great.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go.
I'm very proud of these.
I have to tell you guys.
Wait. Let me get out and get back in with the internet.
Okay. Okay. Rox, real quick, can you tell us why we're playing Supernatural today?
Yeah. Totally was going there, Alex. We're on the same page, same team. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about ghosts today because at the 11 o'clock hour, that's that time it's in 45 minutes, we are going to be having the director of the movie Unholy, which is the Jeffrey Dean Morgan movie, coming on. Evan Spiliotopoulos, who's going to be talking to us about the film. Winston, Steph, and I all watched it. And I will let you guys know it's not a good time to be a single girl living alone watching movies about ghosts, but hey, it is what it is. And also, we have a scientific investigator of paranormal phenomenon coming on. Christopher asked me how to say his last name by the end of the interview. Chacon is how I wanted to say it, but everybody else told me that it doesn't sound like bacon just because it looks like bacon. So, but I did watch a lot of his YouTube videos, and I will say, dude knows what's up. He's one of those guys who like approaches ghosts like a science, and he goes around rooms with these what's that thing called? It's a camera that reads temperatures. And so he like points them different places, and he can see what's cold in the room and what's hot, and then talks about what's going on in that specific area. And you guys know me. If I can't see it, I don't believe it. So I'm looking
Scott
at these videos with all
Torres
these
donated $20. I disagree that society teaches men not to eat women out. Rap talks about drowning in the kitten, and kitten always has men eating women out. Plus Batman is at work, he got shit to do. Bruce Wayne can eat Selena Kyle out at the crib.
I have a lot of thoughts on that, and I will get to those.
Well, periods. That's all.
I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Use of periods.
For today's show, guys, Schmobot in, and here are the things you're Schmobotting in about. Number one, if you have questions, comments, concerns about going down on women, or whether heroes do or do not go down on women, or DC's statement, which I cannot believe that somebody got on record, DC saying that heroes don't go down on women. It's just amazing. Then Schmobot in so that we can keep the conversation going about that. But also Schmobot in, every $50, I am going to be asking these guys a subjective supernatural question and getting their answers. And then at the 11 o'clock hour for half an hour, we're going to be talking to Evan and Christopher about Unholy and ghost things in general. We're going to be turning the Schmobot off during that half hour. So make sure you get everything in before that so that we get to as many of these subjective supernatural questions as possible. And now I'm going to tell you guys a story about Steph because this is fucking funny. So, and while she's gone, it's like I'm shit talking her. I'm with Steph this weekend.
Oh,
and guess who's back? And TV frozen. No, she's good.
Good?
Little glitchy. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? It is what it is. But you look fucking phenomenal. So if you're going to be a glitchy bitch, at least you're a sexy bitch. This is what happened. You're welcome. This is what happened this weekend. It was so fucking good. It's like the epitome of Steph. It was so good. We're sitting at a party, and we're in a conversation with this other guy, one of our friends. And Steph is on her phone doing something else for a second because she was catching up on emails or whatever. And so this guy is telling us this story about his stuff. You're looking at me like you don't remember what I'm about to say.
I remember now.
This guy's telling us this story about his grandmother, and he starts the story and he's like, guys, like this wild thing happened. It's just so crazy. My 97-year-old grandmother is in a nursing home, and she likes to sit in these power chairs, and she was in the power chair, and all of a sudden the power chair burst into flames. And so Steph, who's been on her phone for the whole story, just decides at that moment to check back in, didn't hear what he said, and turns over to him and goes,
Steph! Jesus.
I go, Steph, did you just hear what he just said?
Oh.
Yeah, he said his grandmother was outside and they got outside. And I go, no, we're not. No, that is not the part of the story that we're at. She's like, oh, cool. Luckily, he was so fucking chill about it. But it was unbelievable. So funny. It was so funny. And I can't not call out Steph for anything because that's bestie vibes. It was unreal.
Yeah. No, it's good that you called me out. I'm so happy that she's alive. If she had died from this and I had laughed at that moment, I would have been excommunicated.
She ended up making it out okay. That was the next part of the story, but it was fucking fire timing by Steph's part.
Yo,
so.
I'll tell you right now, though,
Unbelievable.
had grandma died, that's exactly how Steph's horror movie starts. That's exactly how it was. You laughed at this woman going up in flames in a power chair. Game over, man. Game over.
It was like the loudest, most adorable laugh I'd ever heard. And I was just like, what's going on in her world right now? Where is she coming from? All right, so everybody understands the rules of the game and the run of the show today. Yes? Can we finally start talking about Batman going down on Kitty? Yes?
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I will say after the first schmobot that we got in about this that disagrees that Batman or that society teaches men not to go down on women. This is what I really will say in the most combative way possible. You're wrong.
Yeah.
You are wrong. Let me tell you, as a woman out here in this world, it is so different being from a woman's perspective, how rare it is to find a guy who not only like is willing to, but wants to go down on somebody, and the age in life you have to be when you get there, because growing up, all guys, that's a vast generalization, but would say things like, it's gross. That's gross. Vaginas are gross, which is not something that women ever said about penises, unless they weren't into penises, which go on with your bad selves. Y'all were doing it the right way anyway. So to the man that who was it the most recent schmobot, Alex?
That was Scott Torres.
Scott Torres, you're dead ass wrong in the water, my friend. Dead ass wrong in the water. That's just the truth of it. Mm-hmm.
We were taught it was okay if we used a dental dam.
Yeah.
Saran wrap. Like a piece of,
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah, no, that was in sex ed class. They told you had to. Dental dam was when they'd stretch your teeth out, and like I don't know where we were supposed to get dental dams.
That was the thing. I've never seen one sold ever, Brett. I was definitely taught about. I used to work for Planned Parenthood in high school, so like all shit that I knew about. But even Planned Parenthood didn't have no goddamn dental dams. I don't know. I literally was like, so you mean just get Saran wrap and put like flavored lube on it? Is what you're telling me? That's essentially what we're getting to.
I can't, like, if you're hooking up with a guy and he takes out a dental dam.
He's like,
Yo, Brett, what the fuck?
I'm straight up burning the house.
This is what a dental dam would look like. It would be like this, but like a piece of rubber.
That's actually what I remember them.
Yeah.
They would never say that when they were talking about going down on a guy. They wouldn't even address sucking dick. But then when it came to going down on women, it was like you need a plastic thing that just blocks the entire pussy. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, I only slightly disagree in the sense that the flavored condoms was something that I was talked about a lot for that exact reason, for going down on dudes. So like it was supposed to be that if you're gonna do the oral stuff, the dental dam for the ladies, the flavored condoms for the fellas. Like I maybe that was just my sex ed. I don't know, but
show commented yesterday, because like I said, I did an hour on the importance of going down on women and why heroes do. But just because you go down on a woman doesn't make you a hero, by the way. That should just be whatever. Somebody said to me, but it gives you throat cancer.
Oh, that's because of
but not a dick down your throat. I'm so make sense.
It's because of HPV. It was with Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Michael Douglas,
and he said that he got throat cancer because he went down so much on Catherine Zeta-Jones. I believe was the news story.
You know who spreads HPV?
Yeah. Yes.
Dudes. Yeah.
I was gonna say that. What the fuck? And
what the fuck?
And also, I would like to see a statistic on how many people got throat cancer from going down on women. Show me that stat.
My throat would be removed by now. Boom!
I was gonna say.
By the way, I forgot to call my mom and tell her not to watch today's show.
Yeah.
In terms of this actual topic, though, and not just me going off about the inability of men to please women because they think it's gross, with DC making this statement, and I do have an exact, just so anybody who wasn't on Twitter yesterday and didn't see this, I do want to tell you guys what the exact statement was. I believe that IGN was the one to break this story. I could be wrong about that, but they were the ones who posted this statement that I saw. This is what this actual statement was from Halpern, who is the showrunner and EP of Harley Quinn, the animated series. He said, "It's incredibly gratifying and free to be using characters that are considered villains because you just have so much more leeway. A perfect example of that is in the 3rd season of Harley, when we had a moment where Batman was going down on Catwoman, and DC was like, 'You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that.' They're like, 'Heroes don't do that.' So we said, 'Are you saying that heroes are just selfish lovers?' They were like, 'No, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman's also going down on someone.'" That was the quote that DC gave. Yes, Winston, calling on you.
First of all, adult cartoon. What parent is letting their child watch Harley Quinn? If you've seen the show, that is not for fucking children. So that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Winston, that's my question for you. So this is like an R-rated cartoon that.
This is like Rick and Morty. This is like Rick and Morty with fucking Batman universe. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard as a quote. Yeah. And second of all, I didn't know Ben Shapiro ran DC Comics.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also, this plays into I always go back to this documentary, and I don't know why, but I watched a documentary on the Satanic Church, and they're not actually Satanists. They're people who really oppose the puritanical society that we live in America, and how everything in America revolves around the Christian ideals. And even when like we're talking about TV, it's like you really want society to be so confused about sex and think it's a sin, so much so that you will take it out of shows that have nothing to do with church or anything. They want everything to do with being like tidy and girly and classy. It makes it, and that's why we have people like, not to bring it serious, but we have people like shooting up like Asian women in spas because they think that it's a sin to have sex with women because they're not shown any healthy versions of sex on TV, because we have people like DC saying heroes don't go down on women.
What's bizarre too, Steph, is that we just saw Batman fucking railing Batgirl and killing Joe. You know, like we just saw specifically this character.
His protege, his 19-year-old protege, that's the daughter of one of his best friends. Like, there's so many things that were wrong about them having. Ugh.
But I was one of the very few people who was not even upset about that, because whatever. I'm a fan of showing if you want to show sex between Batman and Batgirl, whatever, do what you're doing. But then don't tell me that you can't sell Batman anymore if he goes down on Catwoman, because that doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people had said that they think that they would have put the kibosh on this if it was the other way around, to which I say I don't know that that's the facts. I don't know that they would have actually done that. And also, Catwoman's not a hero, so it's not really a direct comparison.
Can I also just point out the hypocrisy of DC in the sense that, again, if we're talking an adult version of the cartoon, you had the Batman and Harley Quinn movie in which Harley Quinn has Nightwing tied to the bed and in a very shaky consent essentially forces herself upon him for them to have sex. So, like, there is not a consistency in any form or fashion as far as, like, we actually give a shit about what positive sex or any sort of image like that looks like. They're just kind of shooting from the hip all willy-nilly. And once again, like you said, shaming women and sex positivity and all of that kind of stuff and nothing else. So
let me ask the men in here, because I am legitimately curious. From all four of you guys, only three of you guys can be seen, but four of you guys can be heard. When was it that did you guys growing up here think that going down on women was gross? Was that taught to you? Were you afraid of what that would be like? Were you gone down on before you went down on somebody by many years? Like, what was your guys' experience in terms of talking to your friends and hearing about it, either in sex ed or whatnot? Brett?
Our sex ed was in my church and was surprisingly not real shamey or anything like that. You know, I went to Presbyterian church, which is like Christian light. You know, and yeah, that was mostly about safety and stuff. Like in sex ed in school was safety and things, but there was not. I think there needs to be sex education in terms to kind of go off on a tangent on that. Is that it's sex education in terms of like the act and maybe, you know, listening to your partner and not, you know, the education tends to be don't have sex, but if you do, have protected sex. That's just basically how they wrap it all up, but not like, you know, hey, we know kids are going to have sex, let's get women's consent, you know, no means no, let's teach these kind of things in school and maybe not dental dams. But no, I never was told that it was gross or anything like that. And I mean, I grew up in you know, in a house where my mom worked in the lab of a hospital, so nothing, you know, nothing medical was ever gross. She would talk about a bad stool sample she had and semen samples she got in the lab during dinner, and we were all fine with it and stuff like that. So, you know, ice cream socials, you want to hear about a real nasty stool sample that she had to check out. So my point is, no, I would never thought it was gross. I think all of us really, you know, I probably did go down before I got down on me.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't this smooth character, you know, today when it comes to women when I was younger. I don't know.
Winston, what about you?
I mean, it's no secret to anybody that's familiar with the Black community. It started to change a little bit now in the last decade or so, but I grew up, every Black dude I knew was like, nah, you don't eat no pussy, that's gross, etc., etc., etc. I was the only one that was like, but why? I genuinely didn't understand it. And then I ultimately had a conversation with my dad later with a similar thing. That was a weird day.
I want to hear about it if you're willing to share.
Sure. So I was driving my car from Texas to California for my sophomore year of college. And my dad, he's the type that, like, when we're on the road, he's like, fuck it, we gonna have a glass of wine or a beer or whatever. And I'm like, yo, we're gonna get in trouble. He's like, I don't give a shit. It's my car. I'll do what I want. And I was like, fine. He's a little tipsy while I'm driving. And he was like, yo, son, I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's your sophomore year of college. You want to find real love? You want a woman to really love you? You better be eating that cat. And I'm gonna tell you how. And I was like, please don't. Please, God, no. Please don't fucking. I already do. Leave me alone. Don't do this.
Yes, Mr. Marshall.
But like, it is very much something that growing up, I won't lie, because again, in my brain, I've always been like, nah, if you're having sex, it's a give and take. Like, you want to please the person with as much as you want to be pleased. So that never made sense to me. So I was just quiet for a long time about, no, I didn't feel the same way as everybody else being like, I'm not doing that. That's gross. That's gross. That's gross. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until I got older that all of a sudden people were like, hey man, but I'll be eating it now. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
So it's a stigma. It's a problem. There's a reason why DJ Khaled got clowned as hard as he did when he made that statement a few years ago. It is very prevalent in the Black community. I don't know about like the Latino community at all, but it's a problem in the Black community that is starting to alleviate itself now.
Do you think that DJ Khaled was surprised? Oh, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say DJ Khaled is Arab, and I can say like in the Arab community, it's like very male dominated and like old structure of men are pleased, women can for most families, like women do like the kitchen work and kind of are they please their husband. So it fell in line with a lot of like Arab people that I've been in contact with my entire life. It's just so not American Arab. But I wasn't surprised that he said that. And I'm probably within his own community, he felt comfortable to say that because that is more of a norm.
That's interesting that you guys think that a lot of this stems from your cultural background and who you're getting your information from. Alex, what about for you? What was your experience growing up with conversations around this?
Well, my parents are very Catholic, so we never ever talked about this, except for I guess my first girlfriend. That first Christmas, my mom gave me a book about how to stay chaste. And my girlfriend was with us during that Christmas, so it was uncomfortable opening that. in front of everybody.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, otherwise,
I actually don't
go-
even know the term you just said. Is that like staying a virgin?
yeah,
Chastity.
chastity, yeah,
Stay chaste, chastity, like the bell.
Yeah. definitely, yeah.
I don't.
But otherwise with friends, like I don't think it was necessarily bad. It was like going down on a woman wasn't taboo or anything. Like it was encouraged because you got to make everybody happy, make them happy as well.
Malcolm, what about for you?
Oh, growing up, like that was never discouraged at all. It was never seen as weird or gross or wrong in any way. But also, me and my dude friends just weren't the kind of people to really talk about that kind of stuff. We're not locker room talkers, if you know what I mean. I don't know a lot of dudes that are like that, and I probably wouldn't hang out with dudes that were like that. But it was never never talked against. It was always encouraged.
This is a weird difference between men and women, though, a lot of the time. Again, generalization, but what you described as locker room talk, I think, like, and Steph, I don't know if you guys did this growing up, but, like, we sat around and talked about it as in, like, how do you do this? How do you figure out how to go down on somebody? I remember we had pretzels, bananas. We, like, would talk to each other about, like, tips and tricks. Even at this age, like, I still, Steph included, will talk to my girlfriends about, like, oh, I was doing this thing, and it's not like gossipy, like I'm talking about what specific guy, but I was doing this thing and this seemed to really work or whatever, as opposed to guys who seem to like keep all their secrets inside.
Go ahead, Roxy.
No, Roxy, I completely agree. I think I was gonna say that to our SEN female viewers. I think the damage is on both sides, but especially for women, I know like I like didn't say the word pussy, vagina, like going down, like eating out. Like I remember there was a point in high school where I was like, I don't want someone to go down on me. Like that just feels gross. And it's like, that is a complete society way of thinking that I ingested and thought that was normal until you start breaking into it. That's why I think that women like Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, specifically Black women in hip hop and rap, are leading the most important form of feminism, in my opinion, because of the way that they're so sex positive. Because we need to completely dismantle the way that we view our, like, it's so, everyone has the potential to have a gross dick, gross vagina, or whatever you have. If you're clean, you're clean. Like there's no difference between a vagina and a dick, but for some reason people are like, it's gross going down on women. It's complete bullshit.
Well, your vaginas are self-cleaning. Ours aren't. You actually have a system built in to where you are cleaning out your. So the grosser of the two, I would say, would be the dick. Because if you don't clean that sucker, hoo-da-lolly.
I do want to keep talking about this, and I also want to make sure that you guys know we haven't even hit our first $50. We're 40 minutes into this show, and I have a lot of subjective supernatural questions. So, y'all, step up your game if you want to hear these. Probably you guys have been listening to us talk about the sex questions and thinking that that's more entertaining than subjective supernatural, but you'd be wrong. And also, you can always ask us questions if you guys have questions, comments, concerns about anything that we're talking about. Legit. This is the panel to do it. So get those in, get in those schmobots, and get us to our next tier so that I can ask them some questions. Let's get $60 in the next 5 minutes. Let's do it, guys. I know that you can. Speaking of all this stuff and how we all were raised and how that can definitely mess with who you are today, Brett, what can we do about all that?
Well, you need to talk to someone. You need to work out some of these issues, and that's good reason that the podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Maybe your goal is, helping out in the ways that we were talking about earlier. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's a professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas, but this service is available to clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. That's great. You get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video and phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room like with traditional therapies. They are very uncomfortable, those waiting rooms. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. That's what the good thing is. You got to dial on the right one. If you've tried therapy before, you got to go through a couple people. You got to find somebody that challenges you, and that's good that they make this easy. BetterHelp wants you to start living your happier life today. You can visit their website and see their testimonials that they post daily. You can go to betterhelp.com/SEN Live. That's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health and will help with the help of experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp, they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So here's a special offer again. SEN Live listeners get 10% off your first a month at betterhelp.com/SEN Live. Let me do that one more time. BetterHelp.com/SEN Live. We all need a little help, and you should go get yourself some with BetterHelp.
Thanks, Brett. That's absolutely for sure. Especially after the conversations we're having today about yes, ghosts and not going down on women. Those are things that we all need help with. Very, very true. I am really curious what's going on with you guys at home, because the Schmobot's really quiet, and it's almost like y'all have turned into a bunch of ghosts. So just waiting to hear that.
It's like, are you not going down on people? Is this why you feel uncomfortable? I think if you go down on women, it's a good day to send in Schmobots. Or if you like getting people.
And Steph, to the name of this video today is Batman Doesn't Eat Catwoman, and then on that video there are 16 thumbs down, and I'm legitimately positive that all 16 of those people do not go down on women.
Absolutely, it's scientific fact that they don't go down on women.
Here's what's scientific. 149 people who have liked this video, y'all go down on women. No, 151. As I said that. Nobody wants to be the person. 152. Thank you very much to everybody who goes down on these women. It's very important. These women, me women, Steph women, women of at all types. Y'all are the real ones. You're not a hero, because not all women who go down on men are heroes, but you might be Batman. And
all right, never mind.
It's attractive. Schlong's
hold on.
All I heard was schlong, and that was the most important part.
It's back. Schlong is back. Back again.
Inappropriate bisexual dude donated $20. I think the lack of donations is due to us just loving this conversation. But you guys are 100 right. Going down is a cornerstone to a healthy sex life. Also, as an inappropriate bi dude, I find several schlongs attractive.
All right.
I think that's awesome. Pleasing somebody should please us. If you love somebody, you should want to make them feel good and special and not gross. As coming from a woman, I will tell you guys, there's nothing more uncomfortable than when you feel uncomfortable because somebody makes you feel not good about your anatomy. That sucks.
And what you were talking about earlier, Roxy, I remember as a Ute, there was all these jokes of like, oh, it smells like fish, and why does the lake smell like?
I'm sorry.
A Ute. Two Utes. But yeah, there were a lot of like that kind of stupid, dumb boy talk of like, oh, it smells like fish, it's gross. Like that's such a dumb take.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Rox. Are you watching the current season of The Bachelorette?
Yeah. Oh, but I didn't watch last night. No,
that's fine. That has nothing to do with anything specific. But there was a bunch of think pieces that came out. Kristen and I were talking about this last night, about how it almost feels a little exploitative on ABC's part. That it went from like, hey,
it's fucking ridiculous.
That it went from she's sex positive to now they're like clearly trying to get something at it. You know what I'm saying? And when you see the episode, you'll see very early on with the first group date what I'm talking about. So I'm just curious about that too. So we want to get to a place where we obviously provide more sex positivity. What's a more, in your opinion, in Steph's opinion, what's a good way to impart to women to be more sex positive but not feel like they're being manipulated? You know what I mean?
What Winston's talking about is that this girl, Katie, who was on Matt James's Bachelor season, she showed up on opening night with a vibrator. And it ended up being like the talk of the whole thing. It ended up kind of putting her in the friend zone, whatever. So when she was cast as the Bachelorette, she is now known as the sex positive Bachelorette. And the reason that she's known as that is because she owns a vibrator. And if all you have to do to be sex positive is own a vibrator, then I don't know anybody sex negative. So that is like just a ridiculous, she didn't even do anything. You can tell she's kind of uncomfortable with the label because I don't think she's not sex positive, but I just think she was like, huh? It's not even my, okay, sure. If me masturbating, like imagine if every guy you knew, if all they had to do was masturbate in order to be considered sex positive.
So you mean every guy in the world is sex positive?
So every woman, you know, like it's just such a weird fucking thing. And so I kind of hate the phrase in general, sex positive. I use it on myself or on somebody like Steph because I think it's really hard and bizarre in this day and age that I have to, when I do episodes like this, I get a lot of heat. You know, yesterday I lost 200 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I did a sex positive episode. I immediately lost 200 subscribers because that's like what's out there for women. And don't tell me it'd be the same if I was a guy because it wouldn't be the same. It's just the truth. But that's not the point. The point being that like I consider myself sex positive because I go out there every fucking day and talk about what the importance of pleasing women or how to please women or what my journey with sex has been. So I feel like I am following in the steps of the people that Steph was talking about before and the people before them who are really making waves in the sex positive community. But if you're just a woman who's living and owns a vibrator, I don't know that the term sex positive is like the right label.
My question is, who the hell's been watching your show for this long and then suddenly now, because you talk like that all the time. This is not like a new, oh my God, Roxy mentioned something sexual. Oh!
I feel like guys don't want to find out that some guys want to live a fantasy that they can get their dick sucked, never please a woman, and somehow still be like sex champion. I think that's a really upsetting notion to find out that every time you fucked a woman, she probably hasn't come and wasn't pleased in the slightest. So they're like, unsubscribe, this is heresy. Like, I think that's what happened.
1000% what you just said. Guys, we did it our first goal. So I am going to ask a supernatural subjective question. We need $40 more.
Yes!
We have guests coming in 5 minutes. So help us get to at least $40 more in the next couple minutes before Christian fires all of our asses except for Brett, who's in this forever. Brett doesn't know he signed up for life, but he did. He did. Help me. Okay.
Some movies or something.
Here we go with the first subjective supernatural question. What sound does a ghost make? What sound does a ghost make? This is going to be by display of audio only. You don't need to write anything down. This one. Brett, we start with you.
And scene.
Alex? Alex?
He's prepping something.
You hear that?
Oh,
they're silent. Oh, they're moving things. They move things around. We couldn't hear it, but it's
okay.
for the audio listeners.
It went real well. The bit went real well.
Wait, what?
Ghosts don't exist. That's what that was. That was. I mean, they definitely do, and I hate them, and they're terrifying.
Winston, we're on Steph.
Oh,
Go down on her, or I'll haunt your dick. Ooh.
man.
Okay. Brett gets like 10 points. It was very realistic. Extremely realistic ghosting. If there are ghosts, they sound like what Brett just sounded like. This I know for sure.
Yeah.
Alex gets 2 points because he did move some things. Winston also gets 2 points because I agree that I don't think ghosts exist. And Steph gets 4 points because she's advocating for women getting eaten out, and that's cool whether you're supernatural or not. The current score is 10, 2, 2, and 4. This is very important information for everybody at home to have. Thank you very much for letting us play. Wow, the lack of fucking bots is disturbing. Isn't that a Star Wars quote?
Yep.
Yes.
Bots is disturbing.
Exactly.
That's what they said.
Send them in.
The lack of schmobots is disturbing right now. Oh boy. All right, staying with this topic though, just so that we can get more entertaining and have less schmobots come in. In all seriousness, do you guys think that Batman eats women out?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think both Bruce Wayne and Batman?
Well, Bruce Wayne, yeah, I mean, considering Bruce Wayne is like a total swinging bachelor, yeah, I mean, like, they're the same people, right?
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Yes, I think Bruce Wayne, I feel like I've been with someone like Bruce Wayne where they're the type that, like, whether they believe it or not, their slogan when they're about to fuck is, I get turned on by you being turned on. And they'll go down on you.
Ooh.
Have you met, you know what I mean, Rox? Those types of guys that say it.
I do, but I don't know if Bruce is one of them because, like, Bruce be real full of himself. Winston, what's up?
No. I would what I get turned on while you get. I was just raising my hand and
stuff. I agree with you, Roxy. I totally think Bruce is a selfish lover, and Batman would be too. I think, yeah. This
is kind of what I think happens. I think Bruce probably was grown up in that toxic masculinity because remember he went to all the ridiculous boys' schools and all that kind of stuff. But then when he's Batman, he thinks it's something that's like taboo. So it's Batman, I'm the Dark Knight, and he does it as Batman, but he won't do it as Bruce. That's kind of where you know what I'm saying? Like he feels like he can't beat up people in the streets. Like, you know, I think he just has a very negative association with sex. Personally.
But he can beat him up in the sheets.
I feel like really rich people are the freakiest of them all because you can only go so far with money. Like they're doing wild shit. And I'm not saying all of them go down, but I do think.
Perfect.
Thank you.
We get it, Steph. You have a lot of rich boyfriends. We get it.
No, I would never date like a billionaire like Bruce Wayne. Fuck billionaires.
Guys, we need $20 more to get to our next subjective supernatural, that's the word, question. Get it in now because we are getting to our guests very soon. So $20 more, subjective supernatural, so we can ask it. Yeah, I think that you're right, Steph, that usually the more money you have, a la Armie Hammer, the freakier you get, a la eating people, cannibalism. But those things don't necessarily go hand in hand with wanting to please somebody. Like you might be really rich and want to get really freaky, and what that might mean is not anything to do with going down on a woman. But I don't know. I still think that Bruce does because I don't think you can pull the poon he does without. But I don't know that he does it in a way that like she's really feeling great about herself.
Yeah.
Maybe only like 69.
Maybe it's not that good.
Yes, Alex.
I would go so far as I agree with you, Alex. I would go so far as to say that if you notice the women that he normally ends up with, Catwoman, Talia al Ghul, I would go so far as to be like, oh no, you gonna eat this cat, and they fucking beat his ass, and then just sit on his face. He's like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
You think Maggie Gyllenhaal is fucking beating the shit out of Bruce Wayne? Fucking.
But if you notice, they never got together. They never got together. He always wanted to get with Rachel, but it didn't happen.
Go down. She was like, I'm not with it if you're not with it. And then that's
why
happened.
she got with Harvey. That's why she got with Harvey. Harvey was about justice.
donated $150. I have been muff diving since 1988, and as an almost 50-year-old I have never thought of it as disgusting or wrong. I love it and always have. My wife didn't like it until I met her, so I must be okay at it.
Who was that? Alex, tell me who.
That was Bubba 491971.
Bubba 491971. I am so fucking obsessed with you. You can get it. You can get it. I hope you and your wife are fucking stoked to be with each other. She's a lucky lady and you're a lucky gent, and that's what's good. I know we have to get out of here to talk to our guests very soon, but I do want to get to a subjective supernatural question because that earned us a couple. So everybody's got their boards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I never heard Malcolm's ghost sound, but he can play this round if he would like to. Okay. Question. Do ghosts get wet in the rain? I was reading a blog about ghosts, and they said this is the #1 question you're supposed to ask children. I didn't look into the psychology of why, but when you're talking about ghosts with children, the first thing you're supposed to ask them is if they get wet in the rain.
What?
I don't know. And you guys are like my children.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Evan, you're joining us a little early, my friend. We're rounding this out, and we're going to be with you in just a brief moment. I don't know if anybody can see you yet, but we'll be back with you very, very soon.
I shall log out and come back. Thank you.
You can hang
Guys,
out with
like,
us.
Yeah, it was like
He's still here. He's still here, but
ghost,
Okay.
and then he knew that this was his time.
He needed to hop in, exactly.
All right.
Hop in.
Yeah.
Time.
I'm starting with Alex on this one.
I put nah, they spirits.
Oh.
Now they spirits. Okay. Winston?
I said if they're the type of ghost that can manipulate things on our plane, then yes. So like if they're the ghost that can throw a bench at you or, slam a door, then they are. But if they're the ghosts that are just voices, then no.
Okay. Steph?
I would argue that wet is a feeling, and if they're not being penetrated, they can't feel it, so they actually can't get wet.
Okay. Yep. All right. Malcolm?
Nick Harley donated $20. Come watch the spoiler defeat Kofi the Fake Outlaw tonight in the first ever FCA championship match on Twitch. Oh hey Roxy.
Hi, Nick, honey. Yes, absolutely. Go check that out. I think that it's up at 6 o'clock, so make sure that you go watch my boy kick somebody else's butt. Kofi Outlaw, you're going down. Yeah, and you just voted in for that. So all the
Moses
points for Nick right now.
_ and hat promised _ land donated $25. Part them legs wider than the Red Sea.
I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. And that's what Moses said. That's what Moses was talking about. That is...
Yeah, the Puritans totally took over his statement, but what he meant was that.
Take it from me, the Jew. When Moses said part the Red Seas, what he meant was part the Red Sea. Thank you for being here. Okay, and we do have to get to our guest. So Malcolm, what's your...
Only if they...
Oh.
Interesting. That's actually not a bad...
Fascinating.
Nice answer.
Brett?
Oh, I just went with a simple no.
Okay, so Brett and Alex did the same thing here. They just answered. They were straight to the point, so they're each going to get 1 point on this one.
Oh, I knew it.
Here's the thing. Y'all know I'm full of logic. And Winston, Steph, and Malcolm all showed up with their own weird-ass logic. I don't even care that it's about ghosts because you guys, really used your brain on this one. So, Malcolm, you weren't on the board before, but you guys are all getting 5 points. This is this is shaping out to be a hell of a game. Yeah. Okay, so that puts... Yeah.
Real quick before our guest, should I knock out the next ad and then we have that in case, or no, do we go afterwards?
I was going to say yes, but then Alex very quickly went like this.
Yeah.
So I feel as if that was a sign from preamble is incredible. All right, guys, we are going to cut to a break. We are going to bring in our guests. We will be back. Don't forget that we are really excited to talk about Unholy with Evan and Christopher right after this, so don't go anywhere, and we'll see you guys, I would say, in like 30 seconds, but it might be more like 2 minutes. Who the fuck knows on this show? See you soon. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are joined with Evan, the director of Unholy, and Christopher here to talk about all the supernatural elements of it. Christopher, this is totally in your wheelhouse, and you've done this 1,000 times. But Evan, compared to the other movies that you have done, this is a little bit different than what we were expecting if you are a fan of yours coming from the Disney universe. I was not expecting to stay up by myself late at night, scared crapless from this. So talk to us a little bit about the tonal shift, and is this something that you've always wanted to do, or is this kind of like fell into your lap? I know that you weren't expecting to direct them initially, so how did this come to be?
First of all, I'm heartbroken that Beauty and the Beast did not keep you up all night, terrified and shivering.
In a way, in that
it's haunting.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
That was what you were going for, I could tell.
Honestly, in terms of like the genre, it was more of a lateral move than it was a sharp left turn, because fairy tales and supernatural thrillers are married at the hip. If you've read the original Brothers Grimm fairy tales, they're dark and they're violent and they're scary, and a straight version of them would be straight out horror. So a supernatural thriller in which a ghost is performing weird miracles isn't that far removed from an evil queen poisoning an apple and killing Snow White and having her brought back from the dead with a kiss. So that wasn't that big of a deal. The bigger issue was just directing. I'm a writer. I am fully, first and foremost, a screenwriter. And so I had to be dragged kicking and screaming into doing this. And the only reason I did do it is because Sam Raimi held my hand throughout the entire process and told me it would be okay.
I think if Sam Raimi is telling any of us that he has faith in us and it will be okay, that's something we just have to listen to.
Exactly.
How was it working with him? Was he really quite the handholder?
He was. Unfortunately, he was instrumental in the pre-production stage of the full year of 2019, and then 2 weeks into production. Unfortunately, on the 2-week mark, he had to go to England to do some silly little independent movie. I forget the title. It's like Doctor Strange something. So
I'll look out for it. It probably will need a lot of press.
Not even on my radar, honestly.
I don't know. I think he was better off just staying with us. But I think, by the way, our budget was probably the catering fee of Doctor Strange too. But and I also noticed that like the moment he left, the pandemic landed. So he must have known something. I'm convinced of it. That said, yeah, Sam
told him. Dr. Strange told him. He knew what was going on. Wow, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, guys. I felt that the pandemic was probably not the best way to direct my first movie. Call me crazy. I don't think I would repeat it during a global influenza. But anyway, yeah, it was an interesting experience.
Well, I feel like we can be the judge of that because Steph, Winston, and I all saw this. I think it scared the bejesus out of all of us. And who else can be the judge of that is Christopher, who has seen all of these supernatural things in person. And of course, Christopher, I was watching a bunch of you on YouTube, and you've commented on Paranormal Activity and all of the big major ghost things. So how do you feel like this movie does in terms of what you know to be true about the supernatural? Does it hit it on the head? Does it take some leeway and some liberties? How do you feel about it, Christopher?
One of the great things it does, it captures how people react to these type of phenomena. And it is, it's a great narrative that you go into these characters and who these characters are and how they deal with the story, but it also shows how they react to these phenomena. And, some of the best stories that are in horror really capture how these people react to whether it be a poltergeist, someone being possessed, like Exorcist does. It captures that element so well. And in this story, it does that the same thing, whether they're the skeptic or the priest. When things begin to unfold, his reactions, or someone who is suddenly healed, their reactions are so sometimes even traumatizing. Evan did a great job of depicting that in the film.
Can you, and I like to liken this to like yoga for dummies. Can you explain to me a little bit about the Marian apparition, as if it's yoga for dummies? Because I know that's something that you guys pulled from the Marian apparition. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. Am I saying that phrase right? That's how it's called. What in general is that? Obviously, I see what it looks like in the movie, but what is that in real life?
Well, it's referring to encounters, and sometimes referred to as divine encounters with a apparition or an entity, or it's not necessarily visual. It could be auditory in dreams. It could also appear on images, but things all relating to the Virgin Mary. And one of the biggest ones known in the world today is Our Lady of Guadalupe cloak that sits in Mexico, where the apparition of Mary appeared on this cloak and is there to this day in a massive cathedral. So these manifestations are continuously happening. They're happening all over the world. Some of them get reported at higher levels. Some of them are dismissed. Many of them are found to have rational explanations behind them. The ones that are in the story, and Evan would be much better at describing this, is of course taken from another text which captures these actual events that really happened in history and, of course, breathe life into them in his story.
Evan, can you touch on that?
Certainly. The specific ones that we're using in the movie are derived from James Herbert's book. So the late, great UK horror novelist James Herbert wrote Shrine in 1983, and His research was into the miracles of Fatima, Lourdes. Medjugorje was just happening at the time, which makes me wonder if he also got triggered by the events coming out of Bosnia-Herzegovina. But what we tried to do was capture both the religious awe and religious hysteria that goes into witnessing what may be a miracle. And what really attracted me was the character of Monsignor Delgard, who is the inquisitor that the Vatican dispatches to go through what the Vatican does to prove or disprove a miracle. Now, I will immediately say we've shortened it significantly because this research takes years on end, and we do it in 3 weeks in my movie because it's a movie. And also the requirements are like 9 requirements. We list 3 because the others aren't as exciting. So the 3 that we list are: the miracle has to be instantaneous. If it's a cure of, let's say, a disease, it has to be instantaneous, it has to be complete, and it has to be permanent. So just using cancer as an example, it can't be that you had a remission. Cancer has to have been wiped out right away. It can't be that a tumor was reduced to 10% its size. It has to be gone. It can't be that 5 years later it came back. No, you never get it again. So those are the 3 examples out of the 9 requirements. And obviously we fictionalized it, but it's a fascinating process.
Is that what you believe, Evan? I know that you're Greek. Are you Greek Orthodox? And is that part of your belief that it has to be those things, and then that's what a miracle is, and that this what you told is almost based on a true story?
Well, the requirements in Greek Orthodoxy are pretty similar, yes. And the reason they're similar is because it's a fascinating juxtaposition. The priest has to use modern medicine, science, and technology to disprove the miracle, which I just find fascinating, that a man of faith has to use all the scientific evidence at our disposal at any point in time, at any point in history, to disprove the miracle. And that's why in at least Catholic faith, that person is nicknamed the devil's advocate, because they're essentially challenging the miracle. Their job is to challenge the miracle. But it's a very wise way of going about it, because let's say the church accepted every seeming miracle is true, and then 2 weeks down the line, it turned out to be kids pulling a hoax. That punctures our faith like nothing else. So the priest has to be stalwart in his challenging, because if that person fails, that's it. Reason has spoken. This has no explanation. It is miraculous.
Okay, so that for me makes a lot of sense. When we get to the end of the film, you had the particular priest that would not let it go no matter what. Like you were having them come back and be like, we have proof this was the devil at work. And so that essentially is leading to the idea of not letting the church fall apart, is kind of what you're saying then.
Correct. I think it's interesting that the worst thing that the church could do is accept faith at any level. In other words, not challenge things that, if disproven, would hurt people's faith enormously. And I think that's a very brave and wise way of going about it. I think it strengthens faith. This is one situation where asking questions of faith is actually good for faith.
Yeah, no, and one of the things growing up in the church too, I feel like the one thing that was there is that, people ask all the time, well, if God exists, why is bad stuff allowed to happen? But if the devil exists, that's proof of God in that. So it was also interesting to me that didn't click, that might have been, if this demon is real, that, okay, there's actually some goodness out there as well,
It's the classic theological, I think, argument of, hey, why do people like to go see horror movies if it's so scary? Yes, but the scary things are proof that there's also benevolence. You can't accept the devil's work without saying there must be a benevolent entity aside from that. It can't just be the devil.
So I didn't know, and maybe you guys can tell me if this is right or wrong, but is every ghost experience tied to religion? Christopher, in your experience of people who come to you with these supernatural things, do ghosts go hand in hand with religion?
No, it's really a matter of interpretation. Everyone brings their own belief system to a situation. There have been cases that I've been on where complete skeptics that are atheists and don't believe in God or heaven or hell encounter these phenomena. So belief systems don't necessarily go hand in hand with it. Their interpretation of it does, however. And that's how come I think one of the number one things I encounter around the world dealing with phenomena is the misinterpretation of cases, how people encounter phenomena and immediately they put they make it black and white and put a label on it based on their own belief systems. And I mean, a great example of that, without giving anything away, is, of course, in the narrative of the story, how the phenomena they're encountering, immediately everyone begins to conclude that, well, this is something divine, it's something holy because of what's happening. And obviously, that's not always the case.
Yeah, I grew up in the Catholic Church, and Greek and both Mexican cultures are very much aligned with Catholicism. And when you talk about belief systems, I think really religious people want to pin basically everything with the religion just because that's what their belief system is. So I'm curious, Christopher, when you're analyzing these cases in the paranormal, what are the guidelines you're looking for? Is it what you used in this movie, the 3 or the 7 tenets? Or are you using some of your own types of way to tell what is religious tied or supernatural?
Well, the majority of cases I do now, years ago, I was part of a scientific group, and of course we had a different criteria, but now I'm dealing with situations where I'm actually just brought in because people are being extremely traumatized by the phenomena that's happening. I don't take on cases unless they've already ruled out psychological, physiological, environmental, circumstantial assessments are done. So all those things are ruled out, hoaxes are ruled out. If they're bringing me in at this point, they really don't know what this phenomena is. They've kind of proved that it's happening, and they want me to come in to consult and to make an assessment of it. But overall, from the reports that come in from these phenomena, a good 70 to 80% of these cases do have rational explanations, and they fall into that category of it being psychological, physiological, environmental. And some of the situations that could trick anyone into thinking it's paranormal is actually, some of those are quite as extraordinary and amazing as the ones that are also truly, manifesting. So I'm not sure if I answered that question thoroughly.
Yeah. I think something that I really loved about the movie was that you have to question what is more important, the individual or the collective. And the movie does, without giving anything away, make certain characters question whether it's more important for them to have something that maybe they've been yearning for or looking for, or whether it's more important to make sure that everybody is kept safe and everybody is able to do what it is that they need to do. Is that something, Evan, because I know you said that you wouldn't recommend directing a movie for the first time during quarantine, but that was the heart and soul to me of the film and really worked. Is that something that you were cognizant of the entire time? Was that something that you were really trying to get across in this movie that I know you had to jump through a lot of hoops to be able to have us be able to see?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is one of the main themes of the film. In terms of the character of Alice, played by newcomer Cricket Brown, the miracles affect her and change her and give her her heart's desire, and they're a wish fulfillment. And there's a period early on in the movie where it is playing like a wish fulfillment, where it's like, if I can heal, I can do so much good to the world. And it's not until things grow darker that challenge erupts between, if I give up this gift, yes, I'll save a lot of people, but I'll ruin myself. And Finn, our main character played by Jeffrey Dean, has the same issue where it's like, he's gotten his heart's desire. His career is back again. But in order to save a lot of people, he has to destroy the store. He has to destroy himself. So the element of sacrifice, I think, is present in a lot of these supernatural thrillers. It's almost like a classic mythical / fairy tale trope, going back to our origin stories, about there's always a personal sacrifice to be made before you can liberate the world, dispense with evil, bring normality back.
You keep mentioning and I love this, that your history with the Beauty and the Beast and the fantasies of the world kind of prepped you for this moment. What did you take from your time with Disney, or even, and I will ask you about this because my nerdy heart is beating, about Snake Eyes. What did you take from other projects that you've worked on that you feel like really prepared you for this particular movie?
It's actually going back even before Beauty and the Beast. It's going back to my upbringing in Greece. Obviously, my ethnicity is full of myths and legends, and some of the great stories like Hercules and the Trojan War and the Odyssey. All these fundamental myths, which are fairy tales, gave birth to fairy tales, all have classic supernatural tropes, whether it's the gods showing up and messing with humanity for their own pleasure or to teach us a lesson, where it's about the sacrifices that the hero has to make, like Hercules has to lose friends, Odysseus has to lose his fellow shipmates. There's always these great sacrifices that have to be made before the hero attains his heart's desire, before the hero saves the world. And those elements of myth appear in fairy tales in the Dark Ages, appear in modern supernatural thrillers today. They're all a continuation. So it just prepared me in terms of using archetypes as a canvas and then adding the 21st century details. I think that's basically what storytelling is all about. It's taking classic archetypes and moving them into whatever time period you're telling a story.
1,000%. 1,000%. I gotta ask Chris a question. Be real. I'm not a big horror person. They were like, "You need to watch this because we got an interview to do." But one of the things that I found really interesting about the film is, at one point our main character, Gary, Finn, he has that dream sequence where he's kind of seeing the river and he's seeing her come out of it and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I have a lot of dreams that are like deja vu based. Is there anything kind of also supernatural with that as well? Or is that something that's completely out of left field, not even remotely related?
That's a good question. Actually, there's been a lot of research, parapsychological research specifically regarding that sensation of deja vu. Some people say, there's one argument that it's just a trick of the mind because of information settings, and it makes the mind think you've been someplace before. But then there's been other research that shows individuals having what they refer to as precognitive dreaming, or sensing the events before they happen. And when you're actually encountering it, it's because you already sensed the event would happen, and it's all familiar to you. In the sensation in the experience in the film is one of those where what one could argue, we all have these abilities. What used to be called psychic abilities now refer to as psi abilities, or a sensitivity to it. And if something is very vile or dark, sometimes these could kick in almost like a fight or flight phenomenon.
Like a spider sense, sort of
yeah. He's your Spider-Man, Winston, for sure.
Exactly. I just had to find a way to associate Spider-Man. That's it.
And yes, and it's very possible for people to visually see these things or encounter them before they happen again. A great thing to do is go back and talk to your loved ones, parents, grandparents, ask them if they've ever had unusual or unique experiences that they never told you about. And a lot of people are profoundly amazed by little encounters they've had and never told you about, which can make sense of the encounters that you might be having.
Would you bet your life on the fact that ghosts exist?
Bet my life. I would definitely. Yes, I actually. Let me rephrase the answer. Yes, I would bet my life that some type of phenomena exists that we can't explain, which people definitely interpret as ghosts or apparitions or poltergeists. I've encountered way too many phenomena, documented it with scientific technology and support there. So the phenomena definitely exists. How we interpret it, whether it being ghosts or spirits or something else, that's still yet to be seen. And a good example is 1,000 years ago, the Northern Lights were seen as spirits entering the world and leaving the world, and now we know the Northern Lights or the Aurora Borealis are simply magnetic fields playing off solar flares. So it's all a matter of interpretation. And
Oh no! I didn't know if it was just on my end or if he froze.
It's the supernatural working.
Exactly.
See, they don't want the secrets out. They trying to keep the secrets locked up.
We had
Chris, are you back?
Evan,
Christopher, but you're back and you're with us again. The ghost muzzle. Sorry, Steph. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, just on that topic, Evan, now that you've worked on this movie and you clearly have done the research in different aspects of the supernatural, a lot of life is like you can't see what you don't necessarily believe in. Have you always believed in the supernatural, and has that directing this film affected the way you view the supernatural?
I'm mixed on the supernatural. I obviously haven't had the experiences and research that Chris has, but To answer his question, wouldn't bet my life on it because I just don't know. We shot in an allegedly haunted location. We shot at an inn in Massachusetts that's the longest continuously operating inn in the United States. And apparently the innkeeper's daughter from 1780 is still around, and she only manifests to male guests. She's a benevolent ghost, and she can massage your shoulders or you smell her perfume. And we never had any experiences, but I will say that we entered the room. We entered the room that she allegedly haunts because we thought, hey, would it be cool to shoot in an actually allegedly haunted place? I am not psychic in any way, shape, or form, and maybe my reaction was colored by the stories, but I felt the place was very sad. I felt there was like an actual sorrow in the room, and that it was wrong to film there because we would be intruding. So we decided not to. But that's the extent of it.
Wow. You can feel the energy. Damn. Before I let you guys go, Evan, I have to ask you because I told you my nerdy heart is beating really hard for this. And we have talked about this on this show so many times, so we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about Snake Eyes a little bit because we are very excited for this. I am curious because obviously you are the writer of a character who is known for not speaking. And now we have an entire movie.
He won't shut up now, trust me.
So is that, tell me about that. What, a lot of words, all the words?
Oh my God, yes. No, listen, it's an origin story. Like when it says Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, it's an origin story. And it picks up Snake Eyes before he has the traumatic accident that will eventually maim him and take away his voice. And you don't cast Henry Golding and then hide him, you know? So this will be Snake Eyes from the very, very beginning in stories that you were never told because his legend in the G.I. Joe universe always begins with him already in the condition that he's at and being taken to the Arashikage. You know how in the Batman universe, the Joker has had at least a dozen origin stories? Because every decade, an artist comes by and they want to just take a riff and write a version. And there's no right and wrong version. It's always just an artist's interpretation. And there's a fan base that will accept it for that time period. And then a new author will come in and a new fan base will grow. So we're very aware that we're poking in the eyeballs of the legend of Snake Eyes, but it's a riff for the 21st century. And it doesn't in any way take away what Larry Hama created decades ago. So there's space, I think, for all versions. And we hope you enjoy the new one.
Yeah. Evan, I wanted to talk to you about that because as an Asian American and fan of Henry Golding in general, I'm ecstatic that he is cast in this role. And I know that not always can we switch out characters for different cultures, especially if the characters revolves around that culture. But it's interesting with Snake Eyes, his face is covered most of the time, and I think that there is room for that interpretation. What do you say to people who are kind of haters on the fact that we are having an Asian American or Asian, he's a British Asian, as Snake Eyes?
Well, you know, I don't want to get into like the percentages of how Caucasian he is, but he's mixed ethnicity. I mean, his father is a Caucasian British man, and and it's like, so he's 50%. How is that not white enough for certain people? I mean, what should it be? Should it be 89.9%? What is it? But more to the point, the legend of Snake Eyes is he was brought into the Arashikage clan as an outsider. Henry Golding's character of Snake Eyes is brought into the Arashikage clan as a total outsider. The legend is immaculate. It hasn't changed one bit. What has changed is he's not a blue-eyed person anymore. He's Henry Golding. It doesn't change the character.
Christopher, do me a favor and tell the ghosts to start haunting anybody who has a problem with Henry Golding being cast as Snake Eyes. I mean, this is a collective. We've got to work together on this. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you for giving us Unholy. Do you know the exact date that it comes out, Evan, that people can start watching this? I know that we got that sneak preview of it.
Well, it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray June 22nd. We're streaming right now in all venues, Apple TV, Fandango, and we've done very well theatrically, damn it.
Love to hear that.
There you go.
A lot more of you. Thank you to Evan and Christopher. We really appreciate you guys. We're going to cut to commercial. We'll be right back, guys. And don't forget to start sending in those Schmoebots for ghost questions. What?
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Brett, what an amazing job you did there.
Thank you, Roxy. You know, it's been years and years of me stepping out of interviews for me to build up this muscle. I did it back at Collider. I did it for Schmoes Knows, and it's just kind of something I'm good at. But to flip that around on you, you are all wonderful interviewers, and watching you is a treat. And I do, it's nothing I could do. I can't do what you do. I really, I mean, I could try, but you really do quite well, and I'm sorry to compliment you so much. I know we're supposed to have like a not complimentary relationship, but no.
Incredible work, Brett.
Yeah, really true. Me attempting to bite my tongue the whole time when all I really want to do is say, "Do ghosts fuck?"
Yeah.
right.
We don't
Do
know.
ghosts go down? Do they go down?
So on that note, I owe you guys another subjective supernatural.
Yes.
So I do want to ask you guys this question because it is super relevant and probably the most important question that you'll ever be asked. I really want you guys to really think about this. Okay. If you get married and then you die, is it okay to fuck your spouse as a ghost? So your spouse is still here, you're a ghost. Can you fuck your spouse? I've been thinking a lot about this recently. It's actually true. So, okay. I think that we are officially up at Winston starting first. So, Winston, I would love to hear your answer to this very important question.
I'm trying to eat that ghost cat till I get ectoplasm squirted all over my face. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
An excellent usage of the pen and paper for sure. Steph?
Okay, so it's kind of like a Bloody Mary situation. If they say my name like once or a few times, then I will fuck.
Oh, okay. You're
because they want it.
Your name is like that's the closest you're getting to consent.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm here. Let me sit down. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yep. Malcolm, you made such a face when I asked this question that it almost made me feel bad for asking the question, but then I remembered I don't care what your face says about my questions.
I said with expressed consent.
Oh.
So, like, if you're saying your spouse would have to literally say, hey, in case you are a ghost, then you can hear me right now, you can fuck me.
Yeah, your spouse has to get a spirit box and speak to you. Your spouse has to say, can we fuck? And then through the spirit box you say, yes.
You just need a Ouija board. That's what you're saying. You just need a Ouija board.
Or a Ouija board. Or a Ouija board.
But also, here's my question. Because I do agree with the consent part from your spirit spouse. But also, if you're seeing them already, isn't it, like, wouldn't they be letting you know that they trying to fuck? Like, I'm confused. I'm so lost.
Oh, yeah, my wife would 100% be like, oh, he's here to fuck. Not like anything else. There would be, she's like, oh, that's what he came back to do. That's what you came back to do.
So Brett, what is your answer?
Mine says, and I'm with everybody else with the consent, because that rings true even with live spouses, that you really, it's not like it's a free go. You don't get, you do need your wife and your husband's or a significant other's consent in either situation. But yeah, my wife would be, oh, seriously?
Alex?
Oh,
Yeah.
Again.
Also, but with consent.
So here's my pitch to you guys, and everybody gets equal points on this because you all had brilliant answers, so everybody's going up by 2. My pitch to you guys is that I think we should start doing pre-consent in this one particular situation.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Before we got to have this conversation
Like
before
a will.
Yeah.
Kind of like a will.
Yes.
So, Roxy, I already got it. I got it. Yo, if you wanna get, like, here's what you do. You tell your significant other, if you want to get down, flip the sheets back, and then just like, and
Exactly.
how about I don't know, like it's a ghost, right? So it might get messy. Like lay out a towel. But if you're not trying to get down, smash your face against the wall, and I'll be like, oh no,
50
not tonight.
Shades
All right,
of
cool,
Geek
I'm good.
donated $20. Good day, friends.
Woo.
Question for you all. Name 2 things that 50 Shades of Geek and Thomas Harper have in common. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. They both served in the military and they both beat Gold Leader in Star Wars trivia. Take that, Finn's TKO exchange.
Whoa.
What an
50
unbelievable
Shades
countdown.
beat
I
Gold
didn't even
Leader?
know we were participating in the question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much so for that support. Appreciate you guys. We still have $200 that we have to make by the end of the show, and we have 20 minutes to do that. If my math is right, that's $10 a minute.
Oh, easy.
Is that right?
Whatever you say right now is right. Like
Yeah,
you're
that's what I'm
Roxy in red is the moment we're living for. So whatever. Subjective
I'm not a
ghost.
ghost.
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
alive, bitch. I'm alive.
Hey.
Yeah, Winston, I'm totally with you. So everybody got 2 points, but then Winston figured out a whole code cheat system, so he gets 4 points. That's just how subjective supernatural works. Just to catch everybody up on the score currently, Brett has 13 points, is in the lead because his ghost sound was so good at the beginning. Then tied for second place, Steph and Winston both with 11 points. Malcolm with 7 points, even though he didn't participate in the first question. And Alex, I got to say, you suck at these arbitrary games. You're at 5 points right now. 5 points. You really got to step up your arbitrary shit, your subjective bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I do owe you guys a few more, though. But before we do that, I think that there's something very important that we need to talk about. I always have the best transitions to you, Brett, don't I?
Of course. Well, because we're all itching to get back to what we love. Me too. I can't wait to. And I actually did. I traveled. And you all want to go travel. Everybody's booking tickets everywhere. Everybody's going to Hawaii. Everybody's moving. So when you do this, you want to make sure next time when you head to the airport, your experience is fast, safe, and easy as possible. That's why I'm excited to talk to you about Clear today. Clear is a secure identity platform that creates frictionless journeys to airports and beyond. Move faster through airport security and feel confident returning to who, where, and what you love. With Clear, all you need is you. After a quick one-time enrollment with your government-issued ID, you can use your face or eyes for safer, touchless entry at airports, stadiums, and more. Create your account online before going to the airport, and once you get there, a friendly ambassador helps you finish the process, and you can use Clear immediately. Join the over 5.5 million people who are already using Clear. Once you become a member, you can use Clear for faster, touchless, seamless entry across Clear's networks of airports, stadiums, arenas, concert spaces, offices, restaurants, so much more. The end of touching things. I love it. Clear members can add up to 3 friends or family members to their account for a discounted rate, and even better, kids under 18 can tag along for free. Those freeloading under 18-year-olds at it again. Clear is the absolute best way to help you get back to what you love. They have locations in over 35 airports across the country to make it safer, easier, and faster to reunite with your loved ones and take that much-needed vacation. It works great with PreCheck too. So right now, for a limited time, you can get your first 2 months of Clear for free. Go to clearme.com/SENLive and use code SENLive. That's CLEARME.com/SENLive, code SENLive for your first 2 months of Clear for free. Clearme.com/SENLive, code SENLive. Get yourself in the clear.
If it doesn't end with a song, we don't want it. That's what we've learned. All right, I think I owe you guys another couple. So who is ready for some subjective supernatural?
You really have to get into Roxy's mind with these. I'm figuring that the no answer was my big mistake. I know I'm in the lead, but I could have been better. Oh,
She wants logic. That's how you win her heart.
I'm a very logical person, and y'all bring it sometimes. Okay. You see a ghost. Who you gonna call? But actually. You see a ghost. Who you gonna call? But actually. All right, we're up to Steph's up first on this one.
Okay. I said Roxy because I'm coming to her place to crash. I'll let God deal with my room later.
God will deal with that shit. Okay. Malcolm?
Oh, I would call my ex. She is like super connected and spiritual and would have like so much insight about the situation.
And Malcolm,
she would be like
has blue
invaluable.
hair.
At one point, she did.
It's a blue-haired ex, of course.
All right, that blue hair is going to help us with this ghost situation. I like the vulnerability with that answer for sure. Brett, what's your answer?
I would call the dry cleaners and see if they do pickups for soiled clothes. That's what I would.
It was very decent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Alex?
I put Christopher Chacon now that we have his email.
Oh.
Yes.
And his
my
contact.
other thought.
That's smart.
Interesting. I think that would be a wild conversation you would have to have with Christian after emailing Christopher using that for your Yep. Winston?
I'm actually going to perform how I would handle this.
Yep.
So here we go. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. No. Fuck. Hell no. Fuck that. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
He calls no when he grabs his money and leaves.
So he's grabbing a stack of ones and heads to the
that's
strip club.
That's an SEN award. Alex, you got to write that one down. That was an SEN bit. That was fucking amazing.
Here are the amazing parts of it. Not only did he just quote Rosa Parks on his own shirt when he
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Wait a minute.
You got up and all we could see was "not" on your shirt as you were saying "hell no."
All right. I mean, obviously, for very, very obvious reasons, Winston gets 6 points on that one. I don't think I need to explain myself. Steph is coming to hang with me, and for whatever reason that is, I'm always here for it. So we're going to give her 3 points on that one. Alex is probably going to get fired after he makes his phone call. So I feel bad about that. So we'll give him 3 points as well. Malcolm let us into a little window into his soul that he needs his ex to come and help him with this. So I appreciate the vulnerability. He also gets 3 points. And Brett made one of his best jokes on today's show. Yeah. So he gets 3 points also. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now. Winston's in first place with 17. Brett has 16 in second. Steph has 14 in third. Malcolm has 10 in fourth. And Alex with 8. Trailing. Keep trailing, Alex.
I think I peaked at the beginning of the show, so I'm fine with that.
Alex, yeah, that was really good. You know what, Alex, you get a point for that. Alex is now at 9. You're still in last, but you get that point because subjective supernatural. That's the way that it works. Do I owe you guys another one? Also, where the fuck are the Schmoebots?
We owe 2 more, Rox.
Where are they at?
Where are they at, though? Okay.
Yeah. Wait, Brett. I just went back because I couldn't hear you because my AirPods cut out when I walk out of the room. I just went back and heard you go, so he's grabbing his buddy for the strip club. Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
It's like a stack of ones. It's like, okay, I got to get this off my mind.
All right.
Yes.
Here we go with this next question, you whack jobs. Are ghosts ever afraid? Are ghosts ever afraid? It's kind of wild that Malcolm's the one that you guys at home can't see because he is by far and away the most expressive.
We did get her face reveal from him yesterday.
Ooh, what was how'd they get there?
Grand.
Oh, damn.
But it was one huge donation. We were about like where we are now, maybe even less. And it was, yeah.
Who was it from? We don't remember.
Kyle Varnadore.
Wow,
Yes.
that's fucking awesome.
100.
Well, we don't need anybody to do something huge, but we do need you guys to show up. We need $50 more to get to the next question. So $50 more, get them in, please, and thank you. The question is, do ghosts get afraid?
Yeah.
Okay, Malcolm, we're starting with you on this one.
Yeah. You think they're not scared when the Ghostbusters or Luigi shows up?
Yeah.
What a nerd answer, and I like it. Brett?
Yeah, I mean, they're always in some state of fear because, like, they don't know what's going on half the time. I think that's what they don't know if they died, or if some of them don't know if they died, or if they're alive, and they're just always freaked out. And it could be like the movie The Others, where like they don't know they're ghosts, but they actually are. Oh, spoiler alert!
Me?
Yeah.
When they look in the mirror.
Do you think they see themselves?
Or they don't see themselves, and that's even scarier.
Yeah.
Winston?
Yeah.
I do have an exception. I would say any like little kids that were like hurt or murdered or something. I think they're afraid if they're around their killer. But I say generally for ghosts, I say no. They're just bored. That's why every time they see you do something, they go boo.
Okay.
Been listening to 50 Shades way too much, clearly. Been listening to 50 Shades way too much.
Oh, if Goddard was judging this, you'd be 100 points right there on that one.
Yeah. I mean, it was really good, though. Goddard and I a lot of times have similar senses of humor because I like the fuck out of his Instagram stories. Oh, my God.
Yeah, his stories are good.
All right, Steph, what's the
I
answer?
don't follow them.
I say it's dependent on the person who died and turned into a ghost and the manner of death. Like Ben Shapiro is always going to be afraid of pussy, like in the afterlife, in the current life, whatever it is. But like, I think depending if you know you're about to die and you feel at peace with it, you're going to be a not scared ghost.
I think that's true. Now I'm going to start doing this. This is a tough one to judge. This is tough. Malcolm and Alex, you kind of just gave me more of the facts on this. You guys both get a point here. A point. This is what it is because it's subjective, and I'm the subject. Steph, referencing Ben Shapiro for her second time on the show today, is both good and bad.
One
more time in 8 years.
My people. Steph gets 2 points.
Okay.
And then I think that both Brett and Winston did a really good job here. You both get 3 points.
Hey.
This is the way it works. It's very important for you guys to know how this happens. This is how the sausage is made in my brain. It's very, very important. All right, so I know that we have more of these that we need to ask, but we need you guys to fund that shit. So send in your schmobots. We only are here for like 5 more minutes or some shit. So please get those in so that we don't lose our jobs. In the meantime, Alex, what are the people saying in the super chat or wherever?
Every week. The people are saying 50 Shades Geek says, I clicked like on this video and I can openly say that I do not go down on women for the simple reason that I don't have a woman to go down on.
Aww.
Good reason. You'll get there if you want that. She'll be ready and willing and excited. Alex.
I was winding up there, Rox.
Alex, you wind up so slow sometimes.
Alex, you're being like the sloth from Zootopia right now. Oh my God.
Matt Chapman
My
says, as a
skin
huge
is rippling.
Matt Chapman says, as a huge Batman fan and a huge fan of topping off the misses, I have to say that 1, heroes absolutely do that. 2, Batman for sure does it. That's why his cowl only comes down to his nose. This Batman slander will not stand. The exec doesn't know anything.
Truth.
Alex.
Teresa Sky. Usually you say something after, so I was just waiting for that. Teresa Sky says, thank you, Roxy, for being here today and yesterday on your channel, telling the truth as always. People who unsubscribe from your channel are not worthy of your attention. They don't go down on women.
Yeah, I like that, and I said on here that everybody who liked this video clearly goes down on women and has BDE, that we got double the amount of thumbs up. Way to go, guys.
You just need a little motivation,
Because
Rox.
that's what
You
they
gave
should
him.
want.
Yeah, but also we got double the amount of thumbs down, so that's a lot of non-going down on people motherfuckers.
50 Shades of Geek says, for further context, go check out the Schmoes of the North YouTube channel and watch me get a win in Star Wars Trivia against the artist formerly known as Gold Leader. Thanks, 50 Shades. We appreciate you.
Definitely throwing 50 Shades.
Yeah.
Terry McInnes, jumping over to Super Chats, says, DC's a bunch of hypocrites. Batman has been depicted having sex in the comics for years, and it hasn't decreased his toy value at all.
Yeah, but if he goes down on women, he's a loser.
Duh.
Peaceful Guy donates and doesn't say anything. Probably a little sticker / GIF.
Oh,
so
yeah.
thank you very much, Peaceful Guy. Same thing for John Eugene, donates and probably donated a GIF. Same thing for Gregory Castillo. So thank you very much to all three of you. We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Daryl Stokes says,
I was just gonna say that if we get $200 in the next 4 minutes, that all of the men will strip. That's just what I wanted you guys to know.
Good.
Ooh, can you give me
I'll
3
need-
to 4
I'll
months?
I'll need
Winston,
$200.
don't give
Wait,
it up
what?
for free. Winston, not
That's
for
all
free.
Oh, my
I was
bad.
gonna say Steph and I would strip, but that was a joke, and then I didn't want to do that.
Oh, you didn't want to make 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever it would be.
Bro, they would have taken all of the money that's come through in Schmobots and Patreon funds for the last like 2 years and doubled that.
I want to clarify something because
You
in the
get
chat,
a nip.
people are like, you won't lose your jobs if you don't make the money. Harloff's not going to fire you guys. The way that companies work, just so you guys know, is that if they don't make enough money, they can't keep their employees. That's not a Harloff thing. That's
Weird.
It's not like a threat thing. That's just the truth. So when I say that, what I'm saying is help the company so that the employees can stay. Because as a business owner myself, Steph, you know this, and all of you guys, Winston, you with Blurs, if you're not making money, you can't keep doing it. That's the whole point of a job.
People have asked us to do a third day of Blurs, and I'm like, I can't afford it. Like, if we were pulling that kind of money, I would do it, but I got to make sure that there are other avenues of funds I bring in, So
Totally.
Yeah.
So that. All right, Alex, was there more?
last one, Daryl Stokes says, sorry, it's not much. Happy wife, happy life. Eat the box every night.
Ooh, love that. And hey,
Chow down.
that is much.
Chow.
Munch. Ha. Oh, your grandmother's on fire in the chair.
Oh, God. Was that like just your fight or flight response to a man talking that you thought you had to laugh to like?
No. I don't do that, Brett. I stopped laughing at bad men's jokes like 5 years ago.
Good.
But I thank you. It was actually a hurdle to come through. Like, it's hard not to laugh at people's jokes because you feel bad sometimes. But no, what happened is sometimes I daydream and I heard something that wasn't said. So I wanted to be a part of the conversation because it looked really fun. And I read the room wrong, so I laughed. And then Roxy instantly goes, wait, what did you hear him say?
It must be really hard to be my best friend sometimes because I cut you no slack. Like, there is no fucking leniency. Like, I just, if you do something, I am on top of it so fast.
That time, yes, you do that.
Too.
But
I do it to Winston.
Yeah, that time I deserved it. I literally was laughing at his grandma in a wheelchair on fire. Like, that is go to hell bad. Like, I did.
That was like the belly laugh of the century.
I love it.
It was so good. Holy shit, we are out of here in 3 minutes. I do think that I did owe you guys one more. Did I make that up? I owe you guys one more. Hopefully, I'll owe you guys more if you schmobot in the next 2 minutes. Please and thank you. Okay. Next question. Would you want to be a ghost when you die? Would you want to be a ghost when you die? Guys, answer in the chat too. I am curious how many people would want to be a ghost. You're dead. Brett, we're starting with you first on this one.
I said nope. Then I was like, I don't know, maybe. It depends. If it's all just kind of fun and mischief, yes. But if it's just like this horrible purgatory of not knowing where you're at, and then absolutely not. But if I get to do mischief like Loki, then I want to be.
I don't know about the wishy-washiness of that answer. Might not get you very far. Alex?
I put out nah. It seems very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, talk about the truth. That's sad. That was really sad. Winston?
Yeah, I said only if I can interact with folks. If I just gotta wander the earth like smashing vases and shit, like that's it. Like, look, I'm an introvert. People don't realize that about me, but if I'm alone for too long, I lose my fucking mind. So nah, unless I can interact with folks.
Steph?
I just watched the movie Ghost for the first time, and I think that if I could be a ghost for a little bit and find someone like Whoopi Goldberg, hang out, and then pass when it was ready, like go to another realm, then fuck yeah. Like being able to do both, just more experiences.
Malcolm?
Hell yeah. 'Cause I don't think you go anywhere when you die. So I want to hang out, and I want to smash pots, and I want to make pots with Demi Moore. I want to do it all. I want to be a friendly ghost. I want to be a mean ghost. I want to stick around forever.
You just described Casper.
Shit.
So Malcolm has the best answer that I've ever heard.
Yes.
So that does definitely get him 6 points.
Hell yeah.
The fact is y'all couldn't see his eyes were closed as he was describing it. He was like, I want to be a friendly ghost. I want to smash pots. I want to be mean. I want to be forever.
It was one of these kind of. Oh hell
yeah.
Alex got a good truthful answer too, though. Alex earned himself 4 points there. Nice. And then everybody else is a little wishy-washy. Steph, you get a couple points because I get what you're saying, but it was kind of like contingent on something. Winston, yours was also, so you get a point there too. And then Brett's was wishy-washy as fuck too, so we'll just give him 1, which means that we have an official winner as we have to get out of here. Wow, this is the least money I've ever made in a show. I just want you guys to know that. So I'll see you never.
But we're in an interview for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We do have a subjective supernatural winner though, and that's very important. We did get down to the bottom of the fact that you should eat pussy, and also that you should be a subjective supernatural winner. Coming in last place, even though he had a good push at the end there, Alex Marzoña, everybody. For Alex with 15 points for Alex.
Shout out.
In third place, even though he did just get all those points at the beginning, and it's not quite fair because I didn't ask him the first question, but this is subjective. Malcolm was 17 points. Snaps for Malcolm. Snaps for Malcolm. Coming in third place, even though she's the bestie who has to deal with me, Steph Sabraw, 18 points. Snaps for Steph. Snaps for Steph. These final two is very close. One has 20 and one has 21 points. But ultimately, Winston, I do think our relationship is back on track. This is subjective, but you did win subjective supernatural. Nah, it was the performance for me, though. The performance for me, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I realized that, like, in the off chance that my mom was watching the pussy eating episode, that I had to do something to make her proud. Yeah. And also, I mean, I'm sure she'd be proud of that. That's weird. I can't talk about that part. I'm just saying that, like, she's.
What were you gonna say?
No. I was just gonna say what she specifically, what she told me after the last show. She was like, "I want to like that Roxy girl. Maybe I should meet her." And I was like, "All right, we'll make that happen." But she was like, "But she gonna have to change some things. Gonna be cheating my baby out." So I was like, "All right, let me give a better performance." So Roxy has no reason to cheat. She just wants to give me the. So thank you. This is also that you.
A new guy
will be
donated
friends,
$50.
Roxy.
What's the best anime movie you've watched? For those who have never watched anime, what would it take for you to check it out?
Who just gave that?
That was A New Guy. Thank you very much, A New Guy.
A New Guy,
Love it.
thank you
Last
so
minute.
fucking
Ooh.
much. $50 closer to not getting fired, so I do appreciate you. Before we get out of here, let's just quickly answer this best anime movie.
A tie between Akira and Princess Mononoke.
Tie between Moving Castle and Spirited Away.
Kiki's Delivery Service is my fave. Go Tombo.
Ghost in the Shell.
Brett?
It would take my daughter watching them with me instead of just watching them and then me going, "You watch that without me!" That's what it would take. But I don't think I've seen any anime. Oh, I've seen Ghost in the Shell, but I saw the whitewashed version. But so that's not anime. That's a live action, right? Well,
Yeah. Alex?
Real quick, I got one more Streamlab that came in from Prince that wasn't promised. Which hero goes down the most? Nom nom nom.
Flash.
nom nom man. I like it.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, let's just get the fuck out of here on that note, because how are we going to top that? Thank you, everybody at home. On behalf of Brett Sheridan, Alex Marzoña, Winston Marshall, Steph Sabraw, Malcolm, whatever the fuck his name is, and myself, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for watching that interview with Evan and Christopher. We really appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, all of that good stuff. You know the deal. If you eat pussy, like this video. If you don't, then use a fool. See you next time for SEN Live.